The opening salvos of the American Revolutionary War, the battles of Lexington and Concord on April 19, 1775, marked a definitive departure from peaceful protest to armed rebellion against British rule. These engagements not only symbolized the colonial resolve to fight for rights and liberties, but also demonstrated the practical readiness of the American militia to stand against one of the world's most formidable military powers of the time. The events leading up to, during, and following these battles encapsulate a series of pivotal moments that set the course for the American quest for independence. In the years preceding 1775, the American colonies were embroiled in a deepening crisis with the British government. Grievances over taxation without representation, arbitrary governance, and the infringement of colonial liberties had fostered a climate of unrest and discontent. Efforts by the colonies to address these grievances were met with increased military presence and punitive laws, further exacerbating tensions. It was within this context that the British, aiming to quell emerging insurrections and disarm the colonial militias, planned a secret expedition to capture and destroy military supplies stored by American patriots in Concord, Massachusetts. The night before the confrontation, a network of American writers, including Paul Revere, fanned out from Boston to warn of the British approach. The phrase, "The British are coming," echoed through the countryside, rousing militia forces to action. By the time British troops, under Lieutenant Colonel Francis Smith and Major John Pitcairn, began their march toward Concord in the early hours of April 19th, the region was on high alert. The first engagement occurred on Lexington Green. The American militia, vastly outnumbered and outgunned, faced the British troops in a tense standoff. Major Pitcairn's command to disperse was followed by the sudden eruption of gunfire, the famed shot heard round the world, resulting in the death of 8 American militiamen and several more wounded. This mysterious first shot, which no one claims to have ordered and whose origin remains a subject of historical debate, sparked the battle. With the skirmish at Lexington, the British troops continued their march toward Concord, unaware of the resistance that awaited them. Upon reaching Concord, the British soldiers commenced their search for arms, only to find that most supplies had been moved or concealed by the Patriots. The situation escalated at Concord's North Bridge, where American forces, bolstered by arriving militia from neighboring towns, engaged the British. This confrontation forced the British to retreat, marking the first tactical American victory of the day. The retreat back to Boston proved disastrous for the British. American militiamen, employing guerrilla tactics, harassed the retreating column along the route, inflicting over 250 casualties, including killed, wounded, and missing soldiers. In contrast, American losses were considerably lower, underscoring the effectiveness of their resistance. The aftermath of the battles of Lexington and Concord was profound. The encounters initiated a siege of Boston by colonial militias, effectively beginning the open warfare phase of the American Revolutionary War. These battles demonstrated the colonies' willingness and capability to resist British military force, galvanizing further support for the American cause. The significant British casualties and the forced retreat signaled to both the colonies and the British Empire that the American quest for independence would not be a short or bloodless endeavor. The legacy of April 19, 1775, extends beyond the immediate tactical outcomes of the battles. These engagements are commemorated as Patriots' Day in Massachusetts and other states, a celebration of the courage, sacrifice, and resilience of those who fought for American independence. The battles of Lexington and Concord have been immortalized in American history and consciousness as emblematic of the revolutionary spirit and the fight for self-determination. Furthermore, these battles underscore the complexities of revolutionary conflict, including the roles of intelligence, communication, and community mobilization. The swift dissemination of information regarding the British March and the rapid mobilization of militia forces across the region highlight the strategic advantages leveraged by the American forces. Additionally, the engagements at Lexington and Concord set a precedent for the use of guerrilla tactics, which would become a hallmark of American military strategy throughout the Revolutionary War.